What if everything you've been chasing isn't as important as the moment you're ignoring? Imagine reclaiming your time, your energy, and your peace by doing less, not more. What if the real battle isn't out there, but in here? Have you ever hit that midweek slump and realized you haven't paused to catch your breath? What if the single most powerful decision you make today is simply to slow down and listen to yourself? Imagine rediscovering the person you were before the endless to-do lists buried your hopes and dreams. Stop for a moment. Breathe. When was the last time you really thought about you, your passions, your needs, that quiet voice inside? Not your job title, not what your family expects, not the never-ending goals crafted by society, just you. The truth is brutal. For far too long, you've been alive but not really living your own life. You've been dancing to everyone else's tune while your own melody lay silent. But how much longer will you let this continue? How many more days will you wake up chasing everyone else's vision, only to collapse exhausted at night? We live in an era where notifications ping like raindrops, demands roar like thunderstorms, and distractions swarm like relentless mosquitoes. They convince us that busy equals successful, that sacrifice equals heroism. Yet hidden beneath this chaos is a simple reality. If you never become the hero of your own journey, you'll only play a supporting role in someone else's story. If you don't carve out space for yourself, you become a ghost wandering through your own existence. In this video, I'll guide you to reclaiming yourself using the ancient wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Practical lessons that help you build an unshakable foundation of inner peace. You'll learn how to shield your mind from external storms, work in deliberate silence, and cultivate your character from within. What happens if you don't steer your own ship? Someone else will set your course, and you'll wake up in a harbor you never intended to reach. So, will you choose to awaken now or drift asleep through a life scripted by others? Let's dive in. Let me tell you about my friend Gabriel. For more than a decade, Gabriel was the embodiment of reliability, so reliable that he faded into invisibility. He was the first to arrive at the office, coffee in hand, and the last to leave when the lights dimmed. If a project deadline loomed, Gabriel was there. If someone needed backup in a meeting, Gabriel stayed an extra hour. When the team faced a mountain of work, he became the Sherpa, carrying loads nobody else dared to. His reputation? A good guy, a team player. He felt proud at first. Praise from his boss felt like a pat on the back. But over time, that praise turned into expectation. His co-workers whispered, "Gabriel will handle it." His manager thought, "He's always available." And just like that, Gabriel became a resource, useful yet unseen, like the office coffee machine, always there but never noticed. Outside the office, Gabriel lived by the same script. Family calls? He dropped everything. Friends needed a favor. He rearranged his life without a second thought. For Gabriel, no simply didn't exist. 10 years slipped by in a blur of yeses. Yes to extra work, yes to late nights, yes to everyone else's dreams and not his own. Then, one ordinary Tuesday during yet another marathon meeting, his chest tightened. A dull ache crept in, so subtle. He dismissed it. Deadlines loomed higher. Push through, he told himself, but the ache returned, sharper each time. One afternoon, his vision tunneled, colors faded, and he blacked out at his desk. When Gabriel awoke, the sterile white walls of a hospital room greeted him. The diagnosis: stress-induced collapse, anxiety, exhaustion, burnout. The doctor was candid. "Keep living like this. and your body will force you to stop permanently. It felt like doom. Yet within that grim warning lay a spark of awakening. For the first time, Gabriel asked himself a question he'd avoided for years. What if I said yes to me? Recovery wasn't instant, and it sure wasn't glamorous. It was painfully ordinary, setting boundaries, learning to pause, embracing small victories, and letting go of guilt. He started his mornings with quiet reflection. No emails, no notifications, just 5 minutes of focus on his breathing. He journaled once a day, exploring what truly mattered. He practiced the Stoic exercise of negative visualization, imagining life without the things he took for granted, so he could cherish them more deeply. Gradually, Gabriel noticed changes. He woke up feeling energized, not depleted. His workouts became invigorating rituals rather than punishment. He reconnected with hobbies, painting, hiking, reading, activities that once made his heart race with joy but had been shelved in favor of productivity. Most importantly, Gabriel discovered the Stoic principle: the only thing within your control is your own will. External demands remain outside your realm. No boss, no friend, no algorithm can dictate how you respond. When you accept this, you reclaim your power. You decide where to direct your attention and, in turn, where you build your life. Now pause again and ask yourself, what if you began today choosing your own priorities? What would you start letting go of? What small ritual could you introduce that honors your inner voice? Over the next few minutes, I'll share 3 practical steps inspired by Stoicism to help you. Establish your morning sanctuary. Begin with silence, no scrolling, no multitasking, just you, your breath, and a clear intention. This simple ritual primes your mind for calm focus. Define your boundaries. Create a yes-no list. Identify what you'll commit to, projects aligned with your purpose, and what you'll refuse. Saying no is not selfish, it's self-respect. Reflect nightly. Before bed, review your day. Celebrate what you did for yourself. Acknowledge moments you stood firm. This builds momentum and cements positive habits. These steps aren't theories, they're tools to rebuild your life from the inside out. By working in deliberate silence, you'll notice the clarity that emerges when external noise fades. By protecting your time, you'll cultivate the peace you deserve. And by reflecting, you'll transform small actions into powerful, lasting change. Let's start your journey now. Take a deep breath. Feel the stillness within. You are about to become the hero of your own story. It all started when Gabriel stumbled upon a lecture on Stoicism, an ancient philosophy he'd never heard of before. Curious, he hit play. Moments later, a voice echoed across his screen, quoting Marcus Aurelius. "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it." Gabriel froze. He hit rewind and listened again, letting each word sink in. It felt as though the universe had delivered a message just for him, the very answer he'd been dodging for years. That revelation cut deep. Gabriel realized that all along he had defined his worth by others' needs. His happiness depended on how useful he was, not on who he truly was. Suddenly, the pieces fell into place. He understood. His life did not need to orbit everyone else's expectations. It was his thoughts, his choices, that shaped his reality. Determined to reclaim his life, Gabriel began experimenting with Stoic principles. It wasn't easy. The first time he mustered the courage to say no to an extra assignment, his boss's brow furrowed in displeasure. When he switched off his notifications after work hours, whispers followed in the office corridors. "He's gone selfish," some colleagues muttered. Even friends labeled him self-centered when he declined late-night favors. But Gabriel felt free for the first time. He'd uncovered a truth that changed everything. If you don't prioritize yourself, you'll remain everyone's fallback, never their first choice. Today, Gabriel's rhythm is different. He still pours effort into his career, but on his own terms. He helps when it matters most, yet never at the expense of his own well-being. By valuing himself first, he discovered a paradox. The more grounded he became, the more he had to offer others without burning out. This isn't just Gabriel's journey. It's the silent struggle of thousands who have lost sight of a basic fact. Your life belongs to you. So, I ask you, how often have you said yes when every fiber of your being screamed no? How many moments slipped by while you silenced your needs, fearing you might disappoint someone? If Gabriel's story strikes a chord, stick around, because in the next section of this video, we'll dismantle that self-sacrificing mindset. By the end of this chapter, you'll know how to put yourself first, protect your inner calm, and steer your own destiny. After all, no one else will fight your battles for you. But before we dive deeper, take a moment. If you're finding value here, subscribe and join our community for exclusive insights. Tell us in the comments, are you truly putting yourself first, or are you still sidelining your own needs? Type Stoic at heart if you're ready to reclaim your life. Your mind has been hijacked. Picture this. You wake, barely blinking open your eyes, and before your mind even registers dawn, you swipe up on your phone. Notifications flood in, urgent pings, trivial updates, viral videos that tug at your curiosity. 5 minutes slip away, then 10. Before you know it, half an hour vanishes as you scroll through cat clips and celebrity gossip. It's not just mornings. It's every idle second, during breakfast, while walking, even in the bathroom. Your attention never rests. Let me be blunt. Your mind is under siege. Your focus is like a pie, and everyone, social platforms, news outlets, advertisers, wants a slice. The algorithms are hungry for your time, and they don't care if there's none left for you. Their goal, to distract you, fragment your concentration, and keep you chasing the next dopamine hit. Sound familiar? Takoshu, the Stoic antidote to distraction. Stoicism teaches us to guard our own rational mind above all. Marcus Aurelius advised, "We treat our thoughts as the ultimate architects of our experience." So how do we build a fortress around our focus? First, create no-phone zones, times and places where your device stays out of reach. During work blocks, during meals, and first thing in the morning, commit to pure silence. This practice reclaims your attention, allowing you to direct it to your priorities. Next, practice intentional pauses. Before you grab your phone in a free moment, pause for 3 seconds. Ask yourself, is this necessary, or is it just a distraction? These tiny interruptions in the habit loop empower you to choose thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Reclaim your mental real estate. Once you've wrestled back small fragments of time, fill them with activities that fortify your inner life. Journal for 5 minutes each morning. Note down 3 things you're grateful for, 3 intentions for the day, and any worries you wish to set aside. Engage in brief mindfulness sessions. Close your eyes, focus on your breathing, and observe thoughts without judgment. Over time, these simple rituals build an unshakable inner calm. As Gabriel discovered, by putting yourself first, you're not becoming selfish. You're building the foundation that enables genuine generosity. When your inner cup is full, you can uplift others without draining yourself. So tell me, which of these steps will you start today? Will you silence your phone first thing tomorrow, or commit to a 5-minute journaling routine? The path to regaining control begins with a single decision. Choose wisely, friend, and let Stoicism be your guide on this journey to a more intentional, empowered life. They don't want you to chase your dreams. They don't want you to build the life you truly crave. They want you serving up more and more slices of your time and energy until nothing of you remains. They thrive on your distraction, your consumption, your constant craving for the next hit. Epictetus warned us centuries ago, if someone tried to hand your body over to a stranger, you'd revolt. Yet today, you freely hand your mind away. Every scroll, every ping, every fleeting notification, and barely notice it's happening. Think back. When was the last time you went an entire day without glancing at your phone? When did you last sit down to work on something meaningful without feeling that itch to check a message every 2 minutes? If you can't remember, you're not alone. You're not in control. The algorithms are. While your focus splinters into 1,000 directions, your life remains stuck on the same path. But don't beat yourself up. Science shows why this happens. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman explains that dopamine, our feel-good neurotransmitter, can hijack our brains. Each notification, every short video, every caffeine-fueled scroll activates the same circuits as any addiction. And as in any addiction, control slips further away with each hit of instant gratification. Ask yourself, have you ever tried to learn something new only to find yourself minutes later mindlessly scrolling your feed? That's the dopamine trap. Your brain craves quick rewards, so any activity demanding sustained effort feels like a chore. But here's the truth. It's not a lack of willpower. You've simply been conditioned to expect rewards delivered at lightning speed. Do you want real results? Do you want to refocus on yourself and the goals that matter? Then it's time to reclaim your mind. Don't worry. It's simpler than it sounds. Start by setting up clear barriers to distraction. First, initiate a dopamine detox. This isn't about tossing your phone out the window. It's about making technology work for you, not against you. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Disable pop-ups from apps that steal your attention. Install free blockers that pause social media during specific hours. Resist the temptation to ignore these tools. If you don't use them, it's because you don't want to change. Second, activate a mental airplane mode, literally and figuratively. Don't touch your phone for the first hour after waking or the last hour before bed. These 2 golden hours belong to you alone, untethered from the digital vortex. Use them for activities that propel you forward. Exercise, journaling, planning, or learning. Imagine starting each morning with a 10-minute breathing exercise or reading a chapter of a book that enriches your mind. Picture ending your day, reflecting on what you accomplished and setting intentions for tomorrow. Over time, these small rituals become powerful anchors for your focus. Third, adopt the Stoic. Pause. Every time you reach for your phone or click open an app, stop. Ask yourself, is this serving me or is it distracting me? If your honest answer is distracting, close the screen and return to what you were doing. This tiny question interrupts the autopilot loop and returns control to you. Remember, either you steer your own ship or you drift aimlessly in seas you didn't chart. Focus is the difference between achievers and dreamers. If you let the world hijack your attention, you'll stay trapped in the life you have now. But if you reclaim your focus, if you master where your mind goes, you'll finally start working on the most important project, yourself. Over the next segment, we'll explore 3 advanced Stoic strategies for deepening your discipline. Daily reflection journals, scheduled solitude, and purposeful habit stacking. Each tool is designed to fortify your mental resilience so you can build momentum toward your loftiest ambitions. But for now, pause and reflect. What small barrier can you erect today to protect your focus? Will you silence your notifications? Activate your mental airplane mode? Or will you commit to the Stoic pause before every swipe? The choice is yours. Let's take it together. You're squandering your time without even noticing it. Let's face it, how many times have you told yourself, I don't have time? Reflect on the past 7 days. How many occasions did you claim your schedule was too tight for exercise, too chaotic to read just a few pages of a book, or too cramped to launch that passion project simmering in your mind? Yet, by nightfall, you realize hours slipped through your fingers, and you barely noticed. Consider this scenario. You plan to watch just one quick tutorial on TikTok. 5 minutes later, you're knee-deep in viral challenges and cat compilations. You open YouTube to learn a new skill, but an intriguing documentary snowballs into 2 hours of unrelated content. These moments are innocent until they become routine, until they carve out vast swaths of your life with no thought to your real goals. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, likened time to a flowing river. Once it slips by, you can't retrieve a single drop. Despite his gargantuan responsibilities, governing an empire, facing betrayals, and waging battles, he still carved time each day for writing and self-reflection. He treated each second as sacred, consciously investing his attention in pursuits that fortified his character. In contrast, modern life tempts us to view time as an endless reservoir. A revealing University of California study shows that the average worker wastes 3 hours per day on non-essential distractions, phone checks, hopping between tabs, idle chats. That's a staggering 1,095 hours a year evaporating into thin air. Imagine the transformation if you reclaimed those hours. You could learn a new language, read 50 books, or build a thriving side business. Let's turn that possibility into reality. Suppose you're determined to master web design. You enroll in a top-rated online course brimming with excitement. Day after day, you promise yourself, tonight I'll complete a lesson. But when evening rolls around, fatigue sets in. You collapse on the couch, pick up your phone for a short break, and suddenly the evening is gone, consumed by fleeting videos and trivial updates. To break free from this cycle, adopt a structured approach. Plan 3 vital tasks. Each night before bed, write down 3 non-negotiable tasks for the next day. Keep them focused and achievable. For example, finish the first module on HTML fundamentals, design a homepage wireframe, and review 3 industry portfolio sites. This targeted list anchors your purpose and wards off decision fatigue in the morning. Designate power hours. Identify 2 one-hour blocks in your schedule devoted exclusively to your goal. Label them on your calendar as immutable appointments. No interruptions allowed. During these power hours, silence phone notifications, close extraneous browser tabs, and inform colleagues or family that you're unavailable. Over time, these consistent deep focus sessions accumulate into meaningful progress. Embrace micro-commitments. When motivation wanes, pledge to work for just 5 minutes. Often, starting is the hardest part, and once you begin, momentum carries you forward. Even if you stop after 5 minutes, that brief investment adds up. Think of micro-commitments as stepping stones across a wide river. You may only cross one at a time, but eventually you'll reach the far shore. Implement evening reflection. At the end of each day, revisit your 3 tasks. Acknowledge your wins, no matter how small, and honestly assess obstacles. This reflection transforms setbacks into lessons and sustains accountability. Over weeks, you'll witness incremental growth yourself. Beyond these tactics, cultivate a heightened awareness of how technology shapes your habits. Schedule phone-free zones. Choose specific times, during meals, first thing in the morning, or the hour before bed, when your phone is off limits. Use that tech-free window to read, plan, or simply breathe. Batch notifications. Instead of intermittent pings, set designated periods for checking messages and alerts. Turning off push notifications for non-critical apps drastically reduces impulsive interruptions. Mindful transitions. Whenever you finish a power hour, take a minute to stretch, breathe deeply, and reorient. These brief pauses between focused sessions reset your energy and keep you from slipping back into distraction. Remember, time is the one resource that cannot be replenished. Once moments pass, they're gone forever. Guard every second with intention. As Gabriel and Marcus Aurelius teach us, the secret to growth lies not in finding more hours, but in making the hours you have count. Now pause and ask yourself, what will be your first move? Will you plan your 3 tasks tonight? Will you claim your first power hour tomorrow morning? Or will you let the river of time carry you downstream, beyond your control? The choice is yours. In the next chapter, we'll explore the Stoic practice of daily journaling and scheduled solitude, powerful habits that deepen self-mastery and anchor your progress even when life's chaos strains your focus. But for now, decide. How will you invest your reclaimed time? 3. Let the results speak. If by the end of the day you've completed your 3 key tasks, you can call the day a triumph. But when you sit down to begin, beware the "I need" motivation trap. It's a sneaky lie your mind tells to delay action. Instead, employ the 5-minute rule. Open your course or project and tell yourself, I'll just work for 5 minutes. If I still want to quit when the timer rings, I will. But here's the secret you already know. Momentum gathers swiftly once you start. That initial stride often carries you well beyond your self-imposed limit. To protect that newfound momentum, leverage the Stoic Pomodoro technique. Commit to a laser-focused work block of 25 minutes with 0 interruptions. No accidental phone checks. No, just one quick message. After the timer chimes, reward yourself with a 5-minute break, stretching, a brief walk or a few deep breaths, then repeat. This structured rhythm carves out genuine progress. You not only absorb new knowledge, but also inch steadily toward the future you're designing. Now ask yourself, how will you invest today's hours? Share your focal point in the comments so we can hold each other accountable. What project will you tackle now to banish wasted time? Drop it below. After all, we're in this transformation together. Keep watching, because what unfolds next could reshape your perspective entirely. Consider this. If you start today, 1 year from now, you'll look back and thank your present self for choosing growth. Conversely, if you keep postponing, you'll still be where you are now, year after year. The choice is in your hands. The Silent Mastery of Leonardo da Vinci. In a modest, dimly lit chamber, a solitary figure labored in hushed dedication. Day after day, he painted layer by meticulous layer, never hurrying, never seeking applause. He studied the play of light on skin, the anatomy of a subtle smile, and the graceful flow of drapery, while other artists announced their latest works. With fanfare, he kept his masterpiece hidden, a secret communion between creator and canvas. 4 years later, his labor bore fruit, an enigmatic smile framed by a softly blurred landscape born of revolutionary technique. That artist was Leonardo da Vinci, who dedicated thousands of hours to perfecting what would become the Mona Lisa. No distractions, no premature boasts, no quest for validation before the work spoke for itself. While the world chattered, Leonardo painted. While admirers clamored for a preview, he sought only perfection. And you, what's your approach? Do you declare your grand plan before a single brushstroke, or do you labor quietly until your results demand attention? Reflect on times you announced a new resolution. I'll hit the gym, I'll write a book, I'll learn to invest, only to watch the months slip by with no change. You might blame a lack of discipline, but neuroscience reveals another culprit: premature dopamine. Every time you broadcast your plans, your brain rewards you as though you've already made progress. Dopamine surges, tricking your mind into believing the goal is halfway complete. Suddenly, the hard work feels less urgent, and motivation drains away before you even begin. This is why so many dreams die in conversation, never to be realized. Strategies for silent progress. 1. Under-promise, over-deliver. Keep your ambitions private. Write your goals in a journal instead of proclaiming them publicly. This shields your dopamine response until you've made actual strides, preserving motivation for the real work ahead. Create invisible milestones. Break your project into microtasks that only you see. Celebrate each internal milestone: finishing a draft, solving a tough problem, mastering a new technique. These small victories fuel your commitment far more effectively than public praise. Adopt the artist's studio mindset. Design a dedicated workspace devoid of distractions. Let this environment become sacred ground for creation. When you enter, you know it's time to focus, to experiment, and to refine. Treat your studio like Leonardo treated his workshop. Your masterpiece is in progress, but not yet for the world's eyes. Measure progress with evidence. Instead of measuring success by likes, shares, or applause, track concrete deliverables. Chapters written, lines of code perfected, designs rendered. Keep a visible log of these achievements to remind yourself of progress, even when others are unaware. By working in silence and letting your results speak, you cultivate an inner discipline, immune to external noise. You become the steward of your own growth, building in plain sight until your work is impossible to ignore. So I challenge you, which strategy will you adopt today? Will you protect your dopamine by keeping your goals private? Will you carve out a silent studio hour for uninterrupted creation? Or will you finally let your efforts speak louder than your words? Stay tuned as we move into the next chapter, where we'll explore advanced Stoic rituals, journaling, solitude, and purposeful habit stacking that transform good intentions into lasting transformation. Chapter 4. Surround yourself with giants. The satisfaction of others comes from recognition, not real progress. But do you know who didn't fall into this trap? Epictetus. He himself said, "Don't boast about what you're going to do. Do it, and let it show." That was his mantra. Epictetus didn't seek external validation. He didn't parade his plans for the world to admire. He simply did the work quietly and allowed his results to speak for themselves. His focus was always on action, not applause. Now think about this. How many times has this happened to you? You decide, this time, I'm really going to get in shape. You buy the workout gear, take pictures to document the beginning, post them on social media, and get an outpouring of encouraging comments. You feel motivated, right? But then when it's time to hit the gym, you don't feel like it anymore. Why? Because your brain already got its reward, the attention, the approval, and the motivation, without you ever breaking a sweat. This cycle happens with every goal. Learning a language, launching a business, changing habits. If you talk about it too much, you trick yourself into staying in the same place. Your brain believes the talk is enough. So, are you ready to let your results speak for themselves? The first step is simple. Go into stealth mode. Don't talk about what you're going to do. Talk about what you've already done. Instead of telling people, "I'm going to write a book," write in silence, and then let someone see your completed manuscript. Instead of broadcasting that you're changing your body, let the results show, and let others notice without you needing to say a word. Next, use many rewards. It's natural to seek motivation during the process, but make sure to celebrate your own victories privately. When you finish a week of disciplined work, or when you make a significant leap forward in a project, internally acknowledge it. The gratification of seeing real progress is worth far more than the fleeting satisfaction of external applause. And finally, do the mirror test. Before you seek validation from others, ask yourself, did I actually make progress today? If the answer is yes, then there's no need for anyone else to know. But if the answer is no, the only thing you should do is take action, not talk. At the end of the day, my friend, there are only two paths, talking or doing. Stop telling the world your plans. Focus on the work and let the results come. The less you talk, the more your efforts will speak for themselves. The power of your social circle. Imagine this. Your success in life is determined by 95% of the people you spend the most time with. Sounds extreme, doesn't it? But a study from Harvard University has proven exactly that. Your social circle plays a significant role in achieving success. If you think about it, it makes sense. Picture this. If your friends spend their time complaining about how bad everything is, dissecting the drama of the week, and lamenting how unfair life is, it's only a matter of time before you become a champion of pessimism. This isn't magic. It's science. Our brains adapt their thinking patterns to what we hear most frequently. If the people around you have never dared to step outside their comfort zones, what do you think will happen to you? Seneca knew this well. We become those we associate with, he said. Now imagine Seneca in ancient Rome, surrounded by people who only cared about luxury, excessive partying, and avoiding any effort to work on their minds. Do you think he would have become the great philosopher we know today? Of course not. The people we surround ourselves with shape us, either for the better or for the worse. Motivational speaker Daniel Habib put it plainly: surround yourself with spiritual giants, not mental dwarfs. The people you spend time with have an unparalleled influence on your mindset, energy, and ultimately your success. So I ask you, who are you surrounding yourself with? Are they pushing you to grow, or are they keeping you in your comfort zone? Are they giants who inspire you to aim higher, or are they mental dwarfs who keep you small? Surrounding yourself with the right people is one of the most powerful choices you can make. Start today. Seek out individuals who inspire you to think bigger, work harder, and live better. And when you do that, you'll find yourself evolving into the person you're meant to be. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into how to cultivate a mindset that will not only attract success, but ensure that you can maintain it. Stay tuned, because this next step could be the breakthrough you've been waiting for. 5. Surround yourself with giants. No, we're not talking about physical height. We're talking about mental greatness. Surrounding yourself with people who have vision, ambition, and the drive to improve will transform your life. People who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to be better. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with people who have no goals, no curiosity, and no desire to grow is like tying a rock around your neck while trying to swim. Now, imagine this scenario. You've decided to improve your life. You've set clear goals, and you're eager to move forward. But every time you try to change, your environment holds you back. You announce that you're starting a workout routine, and they respond with, "Don't overdo it. Life is meant to be enjoyed." You talk about a new project, and they say, "Don't get your hopes up. That won't work." At first, their words may seem harmless, but over time, their negativity begins to seep into your mind. You start doubting yourself, questioning whether your goals are even achievable. But here's the truth. This isn't about running away from people or replacing all your friends overnight. It's about becoming more aware of who influences your life and how you can start surrounding yourself with better, more supportive influences. If you want to grow, you must filter your environment. Pay attention to who inspires you, who motivates you, and who challenges you to think beyond the ordinary. Spend more time with those people. Don't have anyone like that around you. Go out and find them. Join communities. Attend events. Surround yourself with individuals who are already where you want to be. And if you can't find them in person, start by consuming their content. Learn from the brightest minds in the world, even if you don't know them personally. Books, podcasts, videos, these are all ways to bring positive influence into your life, to shift your mindset toward the direction you want to go. One important aspect of this is learning to say no. No to commitments with people who drain your energy. No to conversations that add nothing to your life. No to habits that pull you further away from your goals. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't contribute to your growth, you're essentially saying no to your own progress. And if right now you feel like you don't have a positive environment, start by creating a virtual circle. Surround yourself with books, podcasts, and quality content. Learn from the brightest minds in the world, even if you don't know them in person. Because if you fill your head with big ideas, sooner or later, you'll begin to think big too. Think about this. If you spend time with people who go to the gym, Sooner or later, you'll become curious about improving your health. If you're surrounded by entrepreneurs, you'll start learning about business without even realizing it. If you hang around people who read and educate themselves, you'll absorb their knowledge. Your environment shapes your habits, and your habits shape your future. So ask yourself, do your friends bring you closer to the person you want to become, or do they pull you away from that vision? If they're not lifting you up, chances are they're dragging you down. Don't wait for others to change before you focus on yourself. Be your own priority. Build an environment that pushes you forward instead of keeping you stuck. The people you surround yourself with have a tremendous impact on your growth. Choose them wisely. Practice mental minimalism. Imagine your mind is a desk, a space where you're supposed to work, think, and create. But now, picture that desk covered in clutter, stacks of papers, old receipts, empty coffee cups, sticky notes with tasks that no longer matter. There's no space to move, no room to think clearly. You can't find anything, and you're overwhelmed by the mess. This is what your mind looks like when you let distractions, negative thoughts, and unnecessary clutter take over. Mental minimalism is the practice of clearing out the mental clutter so that you can focus on what truly matters. How do you begin? Start by identifying the things that no longer serve your purpose. This could be toxic relationships, outdated beliefs, negative self-talk, or even excessive information consumption. Once you've identified these distractions, start eliminating them, one small step at a time. Next, create mental space by practicing mindfulness. Take a few minutes each day to meditate or simply sit in silence, allowing your thoughts to settle. Focus on your breathing, let go of distractions, and clear your mind. As you practice mental minimalism, you'll find that your mind becomes more focused, more productive, and more in tune with your true priorities. Your mind, like your environment, can either help you grow or hold you back. By practicing mental minimalism, you clear the path for new ideas, new opportunities, and new ways of thinking. You allow yourself to be more present and intentional with your time and energy. So, my friend, how cluttered is your mind? What mental distractions are you carrying with you that no longer serve you? Take a moment to reflect on this and begin clearing the clutter today. As you do, you'll create more space for creativity, productivity, and the life you truly want to build. 7. Declutter your mind. And worst of all, you feel overwhelmed before you even start working. This is the state your mind enters when it's overloaded with useless information. Every time you consume alarmist news, social media complaints, or meaningless gossip, bam! Another piece of paper crashes onto your mental desk. Another pile of emotional clutter takes up precious space. Plop! A new worry lands in your mind, one that isn't even yours. And then you wonder why you can't focus on what truly matters. My friend, your mind resembles a desk after a hurricane, but you haven't even realized the chaos. The problem is that you don't even notice how much noise you're letting in. You think keeping up with every political scandal, every global crisis, and every social media debate makes you more informed, more aware, more intelligent. But let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. Does it really help you? Or are you just filling your head with worries you can't solve while neglecting the one thing you can control, your own life? Epictetus understood this well. He said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." The richest person isn't the one with the most possessions, it's the one who needs the least. This concept doesn't only apply to material things, it applies to your mind as well. The more unnecessary desires and distractions you accumulate, the more noise you create in your head. And the more noise there is, the less space you have to focus on yourself. Picture this. You wake up in the morning and before you even think, your phone is already in your hand. You open X or Twitter and the first thing you see is a heated political argument. Then you switch to Instagram and find someone showing off their perfect life. Meanwhile, you haven't even made your bed yet. You scroll through the news, reading about economic crises, wars and problems happening across the globe, many of which don't even concern you. Without realizing it, all that negativity builds up in your mind. Anxiety, frustration, the feeling that the world is spiraling out of control. But the truth is, the only thing out of control is your focus. While you're drowning in unnecessary information, you're ignoring the most important thing, your own life. This is exactly what happened to Matt D'Avella, a content creator, who realized that consuming too much news was stealing his peace of mind. So he decided to do something extreme. He went an entire year without watching the news. Nothing at all. No TV, no newspapers, no social media. Even his wife was forbidden from telling him any news. The results were surprising. His anxiety dropped, his focus improved, and he found he had more time for himself and his projects. And the most interesting part? At the end of the experiment, he realized that the truly important news always found its way to him. He didn't miss anything crucial. Do you see it now? You don't need to be hyper-connected to stay informed. You don't need to flood your mind with constant updates to be aware of what matters. Instead of consuming information that drains you, you can take control of your mental space and prioritize your peace. So how can you start decluttering your mental desk and taking back control? First, apply the rule of 3 filters. Before worrying about something, ask yourself these 3 questions. Is it necessary? Does this piece of information add value to my life or help me move forward in any meaningful way? If not, let it go. 2. Can I control it? Will worrying about this change the outcome, or is it completely outside my sphere of influence? If it's beyond your control, it's not worth your energy. 3. Is it important? Will this matter in the long run? If the answer is no, then it's simply noise. By applying these filters, you immediately eliminate much of the unnecessary clutter from your mind. You start focusing only on what truly matters and let the rest fade into the background. This clarity will help you regain control over your thoughts, your actions, and ultimately your life. Remember, your mind is like a workspace. It needs to be organized, free of distractions, and focused on what you can control. When you clear out the mental clutter, you create space for creativity, productivity, and personal growth. So ask yourself, what can you filter out of your life today? What negative news, distracting social media debates, or unnecessary worries can you say goodbye to? The answer is within your control. In the next chapter, we'll explore the power of intentional habits and how to build a routine that serves your goals, so stay tuned. But for now, take the first step in decluttering your mind. Start filtering out the noise, and you'll see how much clearer and more focused you become. 8. The art of filtering mental clutter. Does this directly affect me? Can I do something about it? Is it important in my life? If the answer to all 3 is no, let it go. Don't fill your head with things that drain your energy without offering anything in return. The truth is, most of the worries people have aren't even their own. They're imposed by an overstimulated environment, an environment that feeds you constant noise and distractions, leaving little room for your own thoughts. Now, take a moment to reflect. How much of the clutter in your mind has been influenced by external factors? All the political debates, the viral controversies, and the tragedies that flood your screen. These things may seem urgent, but do they truly matter to your life? When you examine them through this lens, you might realize that most of your mental clutter is simply unnecessary. If you want to regain focus, start by stopping the constant consumption of news. You don't need to know every political scandal or global tragedy the moment it happens. Your mind isn't designed to absorb the weight of the world's suffering without eventually breaking down. And here's a secret. If something truly important happens, you'll hear about it, trust me. Instead of consuming endless cycles of news, surround yourself with quality information. Ask yourself, how can I invest this time more wisely? Perhaps by reading books that nourish your mind, learning a new skill, or working on personal projects that push you forward. Remember, a clear mind leads to a clear life. The more you prioritize meaningful content over irrelevant distractions, the more focused and productive you will become. Take a moment to ask yourself, how much mental clutter have you been carrying around? Because until you clean up your mental space, you'll struggle to focus on the one thing that truly matters, yourself. Only when you clear away the noise can you create the space needed to focus on personal growth and true success. Embrace discomfort. Does it make you uncomfortable? Then you're on the right path. When was the last time you did something that truly made you uncomfortable? And I'm not talking about switching to a new Netflix series or trying a new dish at a restaurant. I mean something that genuinely pushed you outside your comfort zone. When was the last time you stood in front of an audience, trembling with nervousness, yet you spoke anyway? When was the last time you woke up at 5 in the morning to work on something important to you, despite the temptation to sleep in? Or when did you decide to face something that scared you instead of avoiding it? These are the moments that define growth, because here's the truth. If you don't do things that make you uncomfortable, you will never grow. Too many people mistake discomfort as a red flag, as a signal to stop, like a stop sign in the middle of the road. But in reality, discomfort is a compass. It's pointing directly toward your growth, towards something greater. Every moment of doubt, every obstacle, every challenge is a sign that you're heading in the right direction. If you never feel discomfort, my friend, it's not because you're on the right path. It's because you haven't even started walking. We all avoid discomfort at some point in our lives. We choose what's safe, what's easy, and what's familiar. We crave improvement without sacrifice, success without effort, strength without resistance. Epictetus would tell you right now, don't wish things were easier. Make yourself stronger. The Stoics understood that discomfort is not a punishment, it's the fire that forges your character. It wasn't about avoiding challenges, it was about facing them head on, with the certainty that each obstacle you overcame made you more resilient, more capable. The problem isn't that life is hard. The problem is that you're waiting for things to become easy before you take action. But let me tell you this, that will never happen. Consider the case of David Blaine, the illusionist. When he decided to break the world record for breath holding, he wasn't a superhero. He didn't have supernatural abilities. What he had was intense mental and physical preparation. Blaine trained his body and mind to endure 17 minutes without oxygen. 17 minutes. Think about that for a second. That's discomfort at its peak. And yet he did it. So I ask you, what discomfort are you avoiding right now? What challenge is waiting for you to face it? Don't wait for the perfect moment or for the discomfort to fade. Embrace it. It's the only path to real growth. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to turn discomfort into a tool for success and how you can consistently push your limits to achieve the goals you once thought were out of reach. Stay tuned, because the best part of this journey is just beginning. 10. Embrace discomfort and growth. Do you know what he did? Day after day, he pushed his body to the limit. He learned to ignore the urgency of panic, to control his heart rate, to endure the unbearable. After immense suffering, he succeeded. He wasn't born with that ability. He built it. And guess what? You can do the same. You know why? Because science tells us so. Neuroscientist Wendy Suzuki explains it clearly. When you face discomfort, your brain changes. New neural connections form, resilient circuits strengthen, and you become stronger and more resistant. You are literally programming yourself to be better. But if you always avoid effort, if you always choose the easiest path, you're training your mind to give up before even starting. So are you ready to start using discomfort to your advantage? Every day, you have two options: stay the same or push yourself a little further and grow. Which one will you choose? Because discomfort won't come knocking on your door. You have to go out and find it. Wake up earlier. What's the worst that could happen? That you gain more time for yourself instead of rushing through the day. Finish your shower with cold water. Can you handle 10 seconds? Spoiler alert, yes, you can. Read a page in another language, even if it frustrates you. And that message you've been hesitating to send, send it now. It doesn't matter what you choose to do. The important thing is that you stop running away from effort. The more you face discomfort, the stronger you become. But it's important to also learn the difference between pain and growth. Giving up because something is difficult is not the same as stopping because something is genuinely harmful. The pain of effort is temporary, but the regret of not trying lasts forever. And here's the key: be grateful for discomfort. Yes, I know it's hard, but it works. When you feel uncomfortable, instead of complaining, shift your mindset. Think, this is taking me in the right direction. Replace complaints with gratitude, because every obstacle you overcome makes you stronger. Don't see discomfort as your enemy. It's the sign that you're making progress. Every time you face it, you choose yourself, reinforce your discipline, and take one more step toward the life you truly want. Now, let's talk about you. Tell us in the comments, what's the last thing you did that pushed you out of your comfort zone? We want to hear your story. What challenge did you face that made you uncomfortable, and how did it shape you? 11. Not everything deserves your energy. My friend, listen closely to this story, because it might open your eyes to where you're investing your energy. There was once an old man who lived in a village and was known for his unshakable calm. No matter what happened, he never lost his composure. He was steady, even in the face of adversity. One day, a young man, frustrated with his own life, decided to test the old man. He approached him, and without warning began insulting him. "You're a useless old man. Your words mean nothing, and people only listen to you because they have nothing better to do." He spat angrily, expecting to see the old man lose his temper, but the old man didn't even flinch. He simply looked at him with a slight smile, and with complete tranquility asked him a question. "If someone offers you a gift, but you don't accept it, who does the gift still belong to?" The young man frowned, not fully understanding the trap. He stood there, confused, and then it clicked. The gift was not his to take, just as the insults were not his to claim. In that moment, the young man realized something profound. He didn't have to accept everything that came his way, especially negativity and conflict. This story holds a powerful lesson. Not everything deserves your energy. The young man tried to provoke the old man, but the old man didn't waste his energy on it. He knew that engaging in negativity or anger wouldn't add value to his life. It would only drain his peace and focus. So, what does this mean for you? Think about the things that drain your energy. Negative people, unproductive arguments, distractions that don't align with your goals. These are the things you can choose not to accept. Just like the old man, you have the power to decide what you engage with and what you leave behind. The next time someone or something tries to steal your energy or provoke you, remember, it's not your gift to accept. Let it go. Focus on what truly matters and direct your energy toward the things that will help you grow and move forward. Now, I'll leave you with a question. What's one thing in your life right now that's draining your energy, and how can you let it go? Share your thoughts in the comments, because the more you focus on what truly matters, the closer you'll get to the life you desire. 11. Mastering your energy and emotions. Well, to the person who offered it, the old man nodded. Exactly. And the same goes for anger, envy, and hatred. If you don't accept them, they still belong to the one who brought them. I have more important things to put my energy into, he said with a calm smile. The young man fell silent. He had never seen anything like it. He had always thought he had to respond to every provocation, defend himself, strike back. But there was the old man, immune to his poison, untouched as if nothing had happened. And here lies the key, my friend. The old man didn't allow external forces to control his mind. He didn't let someone else's anger become his own, because he understood the profound truth that Marcus Aurelius taught centuries ago. If something external bothers you, it's not the thing itself that's the problem, it's how you interpret it. An insult only has power if you choose to accept it. A negative comment only affects you if you allow it in. And the energy you spend fighting others, that's energy you could be using to build yourself, to invest in your own growth. Let's be clear. How many times have you wasted time and energy on things that, if you're honest, didn't add anything to your life? You argue with someone on social media over a post that isn't even yours. You get upset because your neighbor parked their car in a spot that doesn't affect you. You let a broken elevator ruin your day, even though walking the stairs might do you some good. Now think about it. When it's time to focus on what truly matters, your goals, your passions, your personal growth, you find that you have no energy left. Imagine your attention is like a flashlight. Wherever you shine it, that's where your energy flows. If you spend your day focusing on petty problems, pointless arguments, and meaningless worries, you'll drain yourself of the energy needed for the important things. So if you want to become your own priority, you need to start managing your energy the way it truly deserves, as a limited resource. First, apply the Shapu 30-second rule. Before reacting to anything, whether it's an argument, a frustrating comment, or a random distraction, stop, breathe, count to 30. Ask yourself, is this really worth my time and energy? If the answer is no, move on with your life. Save your energy for what truly matters. Second, practice strategic indifference. Ignoring something isn't weakness, it's intelligence. Not everything deserves your response. Not everything deserves your reaction. If someone provokes you or something irritates you, ask yourself, do I really need to engage with this? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Walk away. You'll save both your time and your energy. And third, learn to let go. If something won't matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes worrying about it. Seriously, stop and think about how many times you've stressed over things that just a few days later, you don't even remember. Life is too short to waste energy on the irrelevant. Now think about this. If your energy were cryptocurrency, what would you invest it in today? And because if you keep spending it on arguments, complaints, and distractions, when the time comes to focus on yourself, you'll have nothing left. 12. Learn to be alone. My friend, being alone. Scary, isn't it? But what if I told you it's one of the secrets used by some of the greatest minds in history? It's not complicated. It doesn't require any natural talent. Yet, most people struggle with it. Nikola Tesla understood this perfectly. It wasn't just his intelligence or his ability to innovate that set him apart. His true secret was solitude. Tesla spent hours in deep isolation, thinking and working without distractions. In those moments of solitude, he found clarity, insight, and creativity that transformed the world. His best ideas didn't come from crowded rooms or noisy debates. They came from the quiet moments he spent alone, focusing on his thoughts, his work, and his vision. You see, solitude isn't loneliness. It's a powerful tool for self-reflection and growth. In the silence, you can hear your own thoughts clearly, discover your true desires, and think deeply about your life's purpose. When you're constantly surrounded by noise, whether from people, media, or distractions, you can't hear that inner voice. You can't connect with your deepest self. So I ask you, how comfortable are you with being alone? Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Do you cherish the quiet, or do you fill every moment with noise? Because to truly grow, you need to get comfortable with being alone with your thoughts. Only in solitude can you truly find the answers you're seeking. And now the question for you is, what will you do with your time alone? Will you use it to recharge, to reflect, or to get clear on your goals? Or will you let it slip away, filled with distractions and distractions? Only the choice is yours. Let solitude be the key to unlocking your potential. 13. The power of solitude. He spent hours and hours in deep introspection, free from distractions and external noise. It was in those moments, alone with his thoughts, that some of his greatest ideas were born. Nikola Tesla understood one essential truth. The mind is sharpest and most creative in uninterrupted solitude. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you were truly alone? And I'm not talking about simply being away from people. I mean, being completely free from distractions, without your phone in your hand, without music playing, without filling every second with noise. The problem is that most people don't know how to be alone. And worse, They run from it, as if being alone would awaken some dark version of themselves. They fear being like Dr. Jekyll, terrified that their inner Mr. Hyde might take control. But the truth is, there's no monster inside you. There are only parts of yourself that you've been avoiding, and maybe it's time to bring them into the light. Think about it. If you don't enjoy your own company, how can you expect others to? The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Seneca was clear when he said, "Nothing is more powerful than a mind that relies on itself." What did he mean? That if you constantly need validation from others, if you can't stand silence, if you're afraid to face your own thoughts, then you're not free. You're a prisoner of distraction. And this isn't just philosophical mumbo-jumbo. A study from the University of Virginia proved it in the most brutal way possible. They gathered a group of people and gave them two choices: stay in total silence, completely alone with their thoughts, for 15 minutes, or give themselves an electric shock. The result, it will shock you. Most people chose the electric shocks over being alone with their own minds. It sounds impossible to believe, right? But now I ask you, what would you have chosen? Think about it. Today, solitude is often seen as a negative thing. You go to a restaurant and see someone eating alone. What does society think? Poor guy, no friends. But what if that person simply enjoys their own company without needing external validation? What if they feel complete without depending on anyone else? If you don't learn to be alone, you will never be your priority. You'll always be waiting for other people's approval, for messages, for notifications, for external noise to fill the empty space. And the worst part? The more you avoid solitude, the more afraid you'll become of it. The fear will grow, the longer you refuse to face yourself. So here's something you can start doing today. Try a silent day. Dedicate an entire day to yourself, free from all external distractions. Turn off your notifications. Leave your headphones at home. Go for a walk without anything to distract you. If you've never done it before, be prepared. It might feel uncomfortable at first. And if you're up for an even bigger challenge, do something alone on purpose. Go to the movies by yourself, sit at a cafe alone, or take a short trip without relying on anyone else. Pay attention to how you feel. At first, it may feel strange, but you know what? Once you learn to be alone, you'll find it harder to be around people all the time. And if being alone feels too difficult, it's time to ask yourself some hard questions. Who am I when no one is watching? Am I happy with my own company? Or do I need constant noise to avoid thinking? Learning to be alone is not a punishment. It's a privilege. It's an opportunity to connect with yourself, to grow, and to gain a deeper understanding of who you truly are. In those quiet moments, you find clarity, creativity, and peace. And when you learn to be comfortable in your own company, you unlock a power that will serve you in every aspect of your life. So, my friend, will you embrace solitude, or will you keep running from it? Start today. Take a moment, turn off the noise, and let yourself be. Armor 14. Mastering solitude and training your mind. When you finally begin to enjoy your own company, something profound happens. You stop seeking validation from others. You stop depending on external noise. And for the first time, you become your own center. That's when the magic happens. That's when you start building the life you truly want. So tell me, are you going to keep running from solitude? Or will you use it to become stronger, more focused, and more unstoppable than ever? The choice is yours. Train your mind. Now let's talk about the mind. If you stop training a muscle, what happens? It weakens, it loses strength, it becomes soft. So, my friend, what do you think happens if you stop training your mind? Exactly. It fills with automatic thoughts, distractions, and negativity. Instead of working in your favor, it begins to work against you. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest thinkers of all time, explained it better than anyone else. Your mind adapts to what you habitually think. As your thoughts are, so will your life be. This wasn't just a theory to him. This was a way of life. Every day, Marcus Aurelius trained his mind like a warrior trains his sword. While other emperors were consumed by anger, vanity, or fear of losing power, Marcus focused on training his mind. He made a daily practice of writing in his journal, reinforcing the qualities he wanted to govern his thoughts: patience, self-discipline, clarity. Before making any decision, Marcus asked himself, am I acting out of impulse or reason? And when the pressures of ruling an empire threatened to overwhelm him, he returned to his core belief: I can only control my thoughts and actions, nothing else. He didn't wait for his mind to be strong by nature. He actively trained it every single day. Now, if the most powerful emperor in the world needed to train his mind, why do you think you don't? I'll tell you something from personal experience. For a long time, others were my priority. If someone asked me for something, I dropped whatever I was doing to help. If I got a message, I responded immediately, no matter how important the task at hand. I always put others ahead of myself, and let me tell you, my friend, it took a toll on me. I felt overwhelmed, distracted, and drained. That's when I realized I need to train my mind to focus on myself. And to be honest, it hasn't been easy. But I've set small challenges for myself to regain control. For example, if my sister texts me while I'm working, I don't reply right away. I wait 10 minutes, stay focused on my task, and don't let distractions interrupt my flow. And trust me, I feel the temptation to check my phone, and I feel guilty at times for not responding immediately. But I remind myself that if I want to achieve my own goals, I must make myself a priority. And you know what else I do? Before I fill my schedule with favors for others, I plan my day first. My goals come first. If something doesn't fit into my plan, it doesn't make the cut. And I do this because I realize something. If you don't train your mind, you will lose your focus. And since I don't want that to happen to you, I'm going to give you a few tips. First, create a mantra that reminds you that you are your priority. It can be something as simple as, my time is valuable. Or Ditsin, if I don't take care of myself, no one will. Write it down and repeat it every morning. Make it your new automatic thought, your mental anchor that pulls you back when distractions try to steal your attention. Second, practice focus exercises. Try reading a book without distractions. Resist the urge to check your phone every 5 minutes. Get into the flow of the content. Engage fully with the material and try writing by hand, even if it's just one idea a day. This strengthens your mind's ability to focus and trains you to be present in each task. Third, set aside time each day to meditate or reflect. Just 5 to 10 minutes of silence can do wonders for your mental clarity. Don't think of it as a chore, but as a reset button for your brain. When you make these practices a habit, you'll be amazed at how much sharper, more focused, and more productive you become. The key takeaway here is that your mind is like a muscle that gets stronger with exercise. If you want to stay on track, to build the life you truly want, you need to prioritize training your mind just as much as you train your body. It's all about consistency, discipline, and making yourself your priority. So, let me ask you this, MDT. What will you do today to train your mind? Will you create a mantra? Will you start focusing your energy on what matters most? The choice is yours. Take action now, and let's get started on the path to mastery. 11. Train your mind. Take control. Solve puzzles or brain teasers, anything that forces your mind to focus on a single task. The more you challenge your brain to concentrate, the stronger it becomes. But there's another critical piece to this. Puzzle. Start putting some distance between yourself and the constant demands of others. If someone asks you for something, pause before responding. If you feel the immediate urge to say yes, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, does this fit into my day? Or am I saying yes out of habit? Think about it. If you don't train, your mind, society will train it for you. And trust me, it won't train you to help you reach your full potential. Instead, it will train you to be distracted, to focus on everything but yourself. So what will it be? Are you going to let others dictate the course of your life? Or will you choose to make your mind your greatest strength? My friend, there's one thing that separates those who try from those who succeed. The answer isn't found in talent, in circumstances, or in luck. It's in the ability to stay focused and to prioritize your goals. If you really want to make yourself a priority, you must avoid distractions that pull you away from what matters most. Then don't lose focus on what's coming next. 12. Just do it. Now let me ask you something. How many times have you told yourself that you'll start working out, that you'll eat healthier, that you'll learn a new language, or start your own business? How many times have you waited for that perfect moment, that instant when everything falls into place? The truth is, that moment will never come. Think about it. How many times have you made plans, but still found yourself putting things off, waiting for the right time? The reality is, waiting for perfection or the ideal conditions to begin something will only keep you stuck. If you've ever said, "I'll do it tomorrow" or "next week," you're not alone. Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin, understands this better than anyone. His number one rule for success is to say yes before you feel ready. He's openly shared how he's jumped into projects without knowing exactly how they would turn out. Why? Because, he says, if you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never take action. It's not about waiting for the right moment. It's about diving in, taking action, and learning along the way. This lesson was understood by the Stoics long before any modern productivity guru came onto the scene. Epictetus didn't spend hours explaining what he wanted to do. He just did it. He left behind one of the clearest teachings. Don't explain your dreams, make them happen. Planning, talking, analyzing, none of that gets you closer to your goal. Only action does. Let me give you an example. Imagine you want to learn how to play the guitar. You spend hours watching tutorials, reading reviews about the best guitar models, researching which strings are ideal. But when it comes down to it, how many times have you actually picked up the guitar? How many times have you put your fingers on the strings and made a sound? The truth is, probably zero. And why? Because planning and consuming information can feel productive, but in reality, it's just the first step. Without action, it's nothing but noise. You'll never get better at the guitar by just watching videos. You need to pick up the instrument, press your fingers against the strings, and make mistakes. You need to take action, no matter how imperfect, to move closer to your goal. 3. Action over words. The lesson here is simple, Adad. Stop overthinking and start doing. You don't need the perfect plan, the perfect moment, or the perfect conditions. Just take that first step, no matter how small it may seem. Even the greatest achievements in history started with someone deciding to take action in spite of fear, doubt, or uncertainty. The more you take action, the more momentum you build. Each small step, each mistake, each attempt brings you closer to where you want to be. So, let me ask you again. What's the first step you can take today toward your goal? Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take action even if it's imperfect, because action is what separates those who succeed from those who just dream. And remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let distractions steal your focus. The only way to reach your goals is by taking action every single day, so go ahead. Just do it. 14. The law of motion and your mind. This is where Newton's law of inertia comes into play. And trust me, this concept really makes sense. Newton said, "An object at rest tends to stay at rest, and an object in motion keeps moving." This simple law of physics applies to your mind as well. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment or to feel ready, you'll stay stuck in the same place. But if you take that first step, no matter how clumsy, no matter how imperfect, it becomes easier to keep moving forward. So, let's say you've decided to learn that instrument, whether it's a guitar, piano, or any other instrument. What's the right approach if you apply the just do it mindset? Less theory, more action. Learn just enough to get started, but stop searching endlessly for the perfect tutorial. If you want to learn the guitar instead of watching 5 hours of videos on which guitar is best, just buy whichever one you can afford and start playing. Can you only dedicate 15 minutes a day? And that's more than enough to learn a couple of chords and start practicing. The key is consistency, not perfection. No one started as an expert. Do it badly, but do it. The greatest musicians didn't start out sounding great. The best writers produced terrible drafts before they wrote something great. The fastest athletes once tripped over their own feet. So what's stopping you? Don't wait for perfection. Start, even if you mess up, because in the end, my friend, the only thing that truly matters is whether or not you do what you say you'll do. You can keep waiting, planning, and searching for that perfect moment to begin, or you can take action right now and work hard in silence. Fiend, prioritize yourself. Now tell me, are you going to keep waiting for the perfect moment, or are you going to make it happen? Making yourself a priority isn't an act of selfishness, it's an act of responsibility. Because if you don't take control of your own life, someone else will do it for you. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't keep putting yourself on hold. Every day is a new opportunity to focus on yourself, to work in silence, to make discipline and action your greatest investment. It's not about rushing. It's about moving forward step by step, building yourself with every small decision, with every repeated effort, with every distraction you choose to ignore. Life doesn't reward those who only think about it. It rewards those who do it. Those who take action. Every little bit counts, even when the steps feel small or imperfect. The journey to success isn't about perfection, it's about progress. 16. Moving forward with purpose. If you've made it this far, write in the comments, "I'm going to focus only on myself." That way, I'll know who the true Stoic warriors are, the ones who made it to the end and are committed to embracing this journey. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video so you don't miss out on what's coming next. And I invite you to check out our playlist, which you'll see on the screen. It's packed with more ideas, stories, and advice to help you navigate life with greater wisdom and confidence. Click on it and let's keep moving forward together. Until next time, take care and keep embracing your inner Stoic.